Hi everyone, good to see you. Welcome and namaste. Welcome to our Sunday Yin Yoga, Destress, and Deep Stretch. As usual, go ahead and get on your mat and find a nice quiet place where you won't be disturbed. And we'll start this practice right away. Why don't we get right into it? You will need a yoga strap for this one. So if you don't have a strap, you can use a belt or a towel or even a t-shirt, anything that resembles a strap. And we are going to come to reclining on our back. So go ahead and recline all the way onto your back for a moment. You can keep your legs straight, Savasana style. Or if you feel like you want to bend your knees and get that extra low back support, you can bring the knees together to connect and open your feet as wide as your hips, reclining teepee pose. And place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Just taking a moment to ground yourself in your practice as you begin to deepen your breath. Inhaling fully and exhaling through the mouth. Deep inhale through the nose, belly expands, chest, and then out the mouth. Empty it out. Beginning to move that prana in your body. Take one last full and deep breath in through the nose. Out the mouth, exhale. Feeling your awareness within you, wrapped in the container of your body. See how deep within you can go. Maybe making that connection with your heart. Invoking energy in your heart. Just breathing in, you're breathing in. Breathing out, you're breathing out. Beginning to slow things down. By slowing down your breathing, you slow down the brain waves and reduce any unnecessary activity in the brain. And when the mind is still and the body is still, you naturally gravitate towards your heart, towards love. We are wired for love, it's our nature. And what happens is that when you tap into your heart and you tune into the energy of love, you discover that benevolence lives inside of you. It lives right there in your heart. And so all the love that you seek outside of you, that you seek in a fulfilling job or relationships or stuff that you buy or money that you accumulate, you discover that that love is actually inside of you. It's not outside of you. And you can tap into it anytime you need to. Just by tuning in to the heart. And from here, have your right knee into your chest. You can keep that left knee bent, or you can straighten the leg all the way down if you have that flexibility. And begin to do some little circles with the right knee, just beginning to massage that hip joint. And switch the direction of your circle opposite way. Finish your last round and then hug your knee into your chest. And then grab your strap or your belt or your towel and wrap it around the sole of your right foot and see how straight you can get that right leg. And it's okay if the knee is slightly bent, especially in the beginning. Maybe you even bend your knee and then straighten your leg a few times. Bend your knee, straighten your leg. Just work with yourself, especially if you're practicing early in the morning. You want to give your body some time to warm up. And then once you find that sweet spot, see if you can pull the leg towards straight as much as you can. Flex the foot so you curl the toes towards your face. And breathe into the right hamstring as much as you can. And think about you're drawing your right hip into your hip socket. And instead of really trying to straighten the leg from the knee, see if you can straighten the leg from the hamstring, from behind that right thigh, close to your right hip. Maybe you come back to your breathing and just breathing in, you're breathing in, and breathing out, you're breathing out. And that grip with the strap, it's just a gentle suggestion. So since this is a Yin Yoga practice, you want to keep that gentle yin energy. So you loosen up maybe the grip of the straps. So your knuckles are not tense. If you see that your fingertips are starting to turn white, that's a sign that you're gripping too hard. And see if you can just loosen up that grip. Make it gentle, make it sweet. Usually this practice, you receive the benefits of it after the practice is done, and you begin to notice the impact if you do other more high intensity and invigorating workouts like lifting weights or resistance training or hiking, biking. You notice that your endurance gets higher and you are able to go deeper because now you have more mobility and you're able to work the full range of motion of the joints. And so don't underestimate these gentle stretches. And so even if you can reach all the way towards your toes, it's okay to just use your strap and breathe into it. Now go ahead and spin your toes a little bit out, your heel in, so you bring your hip into an external rotation, so your toes are pointing towards that upper right corner of your mat. And then go ahead and grab the strap with your right hand, and your left hand can rest on your left hip to use it as an anchor. If you need to bend that left knee again, you can. And you're just gonna straighten that right leg all the way out to the right until your body kind of tells you to stop. And usually it's when that left hip starts to lift off the mat that's your sign that you went too far. So you want to stop right there. And then if you want to use the block, if you can grab it, it's a little far from me, you can actually place a block underneath your right hip. So now you have a place for your leg to rest. Again, coming back to that gentleness. So you're working with yourself, and really less effort is more in this practice. And then maybe you just close your eyes and you kind of let gravity and let time do the pose. We really don't get enough stretching in our day-to-day life. Stretching is so, so important, so good for the body, for your health, for your overall well-being. So you don't stiff up and you don't crumble. As we get older, gravity keeps pulling us down. And so unless we do practices like this to expand the body, to get longer, to get leaner, to get more mobile and supple, to allow that prana to flow in your body, that life force essence. So you live longer and healthier. You're literally expanding your lifespan. So it's more than just getting limber and trying to touch your toes. Less about the aesthetics of the pose and the superficiality of it, and really more about well-being and longevity. Maybe after a while, the body opens up and you get deeper into the stretch. Maybe you pull that leg a little higher up towards that right corner of the mat. And you give it one last gentle pull. And then slowly lift the leg all the way back up. This time you're going to switch hands. You're going to grab the strap with your left hand and extend your right arm out by your side, like half of a letter T. And then spin your toes this time to face the left upper corner of your mat. So now you're in an internal rotation with that right hip. And then see if you can slowly cross the leg across the body and all the way down. And it's okay if your leg doesn't go all the way down. Again, you can grab that block and you can maybe place it underneath your left hamstring if you need it. If you don't need it, you can twist all the way. You can just twist it. See if you can allow that right shoulder to maintain its heaviness, almost using it like a paperweight to ground you down. So you're in a spinal twist, but you're also getting that nice stretch in the IT band, which is the outer edge of that right leg. Maybe even you spin the outer edge of the right foot down to face the earth and you feel it right away. You feel that sensation. And this is so, so good if you do a lot of leg work, a lot of squats, a lot of running, a lot of biking, or if you tend to stand on your legs for work for long periods of time. This area tends to tighten up. See if you can soften the body, soften the legs, soften the shoulders and your face, your eyes. And slowly begin to lift that leg all the way up to the ceiling. And let's give it one last stretch here. See how deeper you can get into the stretch now that the leg has opened up a little bit more. Maybe you grab the big toe, you give it a gentle pull here, and slowly release, rebend the knee, remove your strap to the side, and straighten your right leg next to the left leg. Just take a moment to notice. I like to do this kind of scanning of the body to feel the difference between my right leg and the left leg. And it's so satisfying to notice and feel the effects of this work, how much space there is in the right leg, how it feels different, and it feels really, really good. Take a full breath in through the nose and open your mouth, exhale. Before we get into the other side, go ahead and reach your arms up and over your head until the backs of your hands rest on the mat. And we're going to come into banana asana. So all that is that you're going to keep your right hip where they are, and you're just going to crawl your feet all the way to the left corner of your mat. And then maybe you even lift your head and your torso just an inch off the mat, and you tilt your upper body all the way to the left as well. So you get a nice side body stretch on the right side. Now, options with your hands, you can grab your right wrist with your left hand and give it a gentle pull. But if you want to make it just a relaxing pose, you can just frame your head and grab opposite elbows. I'm gonna elect this variation because it feels more relaxing and it will allow me to maintain my breathing and also that calm state of being. Sometimes when we get too deep into the pose, it takes us out of that meditative state, which is way more important. The body responds and heals when you are in a very calm state. And so if you also want to lift your right ankle and place it on top of the left, you can. Again, check in with yourself. Is this making me feel good or is it making me feel intense? You do want like a sensation, you want a stretch, but again, not too much that it's taking you out of the present moment and all you're doing is that you're counting the moments for the pose to be over. You want to actually indulge in the pose and lose track of time because you're so, so still and so calm inside of you. After a while, the body begins to soften and open. Maybe you can take it a little further and get deeper into the stretch. Maybe you grab that right wrist and you breathe into the left side, the right side of your shoulder, the lat muscles. Just feel the upper body kind of stretch a little deeper. And give it one last full and deep breath in and a long breath out. If you have that right ankle on top, gently uncross it. And if you have that right wrist, gently release it and crawl your way back to center. Extend your arms by your side, and just for a moment here, take a few breaths. And feel the effects of that. And this time we're going to bend that left knee and we're going to do that same sequence on the other side. So let's just begin by doing some circles here to warm up that hip socket. Maybe this side feels a little different. I know for me, my left side is the tighter side. And so we all have a dominant side. And all that means is that you take care of yourself in a different way. So maybe each side needs something different. Maybe it needs, less stretching. Maybe it needs more breathing. Maybe it needs to modify in a different way. Maybe it needs a different variation. And that's really only you know this. So go ahead and switch the direction of your circle if you haven't done so already. Maybe it needs a little bit more warming up. And finish your last round. And then hug that knee into your chest. Give it a squeeze. Go ahead and grab your strap. Wrap it around the sole of the foot and slowly begin to straighten that leg. If you need to bend that right knee, you can. Gives you a little bit of leverage, especially if you have a sensitive low back. So when you bend the knee, the tailbone tucks in a little bit and you feel that low back press into the mat. If you want to do the bend and knee and straighten the leg a few times, if you're still feeling tight, again, take care of yourself. Then when you're ready, go ahead and straighten that leg as much as you can. Again, notice the intensity of the grip and the strap. Can you make it gentle? Can you make it soft and easy? Even if that means you keep the right knee bent, I'd rather you keep the right knee bent and you feel more grounded in the pose. And then you straighten the leg and then you start to tense your whole body. And so space is created when we are in that state of homeostasis, that state of balance, of equilibrium. And then maybe you take a few breaths with the knee bent. And then after a while, once you feel like that the hamstring is now a little bit open and the knee is a little bit lubricated and you feel a little softer, then you can straighten that right leg. And so you move with more integrity and honesty with yourself instead of forcing and jamming. And this form of stretching when you're lying down is so, so good. Good for the knees, good for the legs, but also good for the low back. And it's good for the psoas muscle. It's good for the low pelvic floor. It's also you're getting kind of lymphatic drainage when your leg is up and the blood flow goes down towards your belly and towards your heart. And so there's a lot of benefits from stretching lying down. Your spine is more supported. Now take one last full breath in and a long breath out. Begin to rotate your toes a little bit out, your heel in. Find that external rotation in the leg. So the toes rotate first and then the leg follows. And open it all the way out. If you want to grab that block and place it underneath your leg, just try to avoid the knee area. So you can either place it close to the hamstring or down by your shin, but really we always try to put very, very minimal pressure on the knee because it is the most primitive joint and muscle in the body. So the right leg can remain straight. If you need that extra support, again, notice the difference. Like when I bent my knee, I felt this nice release. It felt so good. So there's nothing wrong with modifying. Does not mean that you're not advanced or you're not flexible. It means that you are human and you are taking care of yourself. Maybe pull the leg a little bit higher. You get deeper into the stretch. Maybe now you straighten that bottom right leg and notice how maybe it feels a little different and now the body's ready for that. Anchoring your right hip down. We're almost there. And just giving it one last gentle pull here. And slowly lifting the leg all the way up. And keep the leg straight. See if you can get just a deeper stretch. Maybe you grab the toe, maybe not, and that's okay. Give it one last pull here. And slowly release. Letting go of that strap. Extending your arms by your side, and now feel how both of your legs are even. Take a full breath in through the nose. And open your mouth, exhale. And this time you're going to reach your arms up and over your head, and we're going to do that banana asana on the other side. So keeping your hips anchored at the center of your mat. This time you're going to crawl your feet all the way to the left, and then you lift your torso and crawl all the way to the right. So feet and hands to the right, and hip to the left. This time we're stretching the left side of your body. If you want to bend your elbows, you can. If you want to cross the ankle, you can, or maybe that might be too much. You can also bend your left knee so the knee is pointing up to the sky and give it a cross. This is actually a very more sustainable way to come into the stretch. And it's good if you have, again, low back pain. It's really nice to bend the knee and keep the sole of the left foot flat. And it's just like you're chilling on the beach and you're just enjoying a nice sunny day. I know it's really nice out here in Malibu. It's sunny. The beaches get very crowded during this time of the year. Luckily, we're going to Puerto Vallarta soon for Labor Day weekend, and we're going to get a lot of beach time there. I know some of you have signed up. It's coming up soon, September 1st to September 5th. We're staying at this 5-diamond resort where we have the beach in front of us and we have the jungle behind us. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to confess that I get a little scared of the jungle and the wildlife there. And you see them there in Mexico. You know, they're fearless. I remember one time I was sitting by the pool and this monkey was behind me, literally trying to drink my drink. And I got so scared. I jumped off the bed and it was very funny. But when we go to these exotic locations, we are really hugged by nature. Some people like to do those guided hikes and really dive into the jungle and into nature. That's the beauty of these healthy vacations. You get to explore things that you usually don't get to do in your regular day-to-day routine. You meet like-minded people, and I remember when we did Tulum, everybody was a complete stranger, and then by the end, they bonded so strongly, and they became such good friends till this day. They visit each other. They came from all across the world, and they're still connected. It's such a beautiful thing. And then from here, slowly unhook your ankle or your leg if you have it, that top left leg. If you have that left wrist, release it. And slowly we just come back to the center of the mat and extend your arms by your side. Oh, I just realized that we didn't cross the left leg. My bad, you guys. I'm sorry. So let's even ourselves out. So go ahead and grab your strap and wrap it around the sole of the left foot and extend your left arm by your side. And now you're going to spin your toes in and your heel out. So your toes are now pointing towards that upper right corner of the mat, and we're on the left leg. And we're going to cross that leg across the body and all the way to the right. And we come to that spinal twist. I'm glad that I remembered this. Got to keep it even. We don't want one side more flexible than the other side. Again, if you want to grab that block and place it underneath your left hamstring or left shin, it helps. You can even pull it all the way down by the ankle. Just taking a few breaths here, allowing your left shoulder to be heavy. And again, maybe after a while, your body begins to warm up and you can get deeper into that stretch and you can maybe release that block. Maybe you pull the leg a little higher towards that upper right corner of your mat. And just a few more breaths here. And slowly lift yourself all the way up. Give it one last pull. Maybe feeling a little better now that both sides are even. And then left leg next to the right leg. Much better. Take a full breath in and a long breath out. And go ahead and hug your knees into your chest. And just rock a little side to side. Massage that low back. Maybe you roll the head a little side to side. That should feel nice. And then maybe rock a little back and forth until you bring yourself up. And what we're going to do, we're going to swing the legs to one side and we're going to come into Anahata Asana. So what it is you're going to come onto your hands and knees and you're going to slide your knees a little bit back behind you. Big toes can come together to connect. I like to grab my blocks, but I'll give you two variations. So one variation is that you're just going to melt your heart down and you're going to rest your forehead or even your shin and come to this version of the pose. I like to get a nice stretch in my triceps. So what I do is I grab my blocks and I place them at the lowest height and open them about shoulder distance apart. And you're going to leave the middle section between the blocks. You want space for your head to rest here. And you're going to rest your elbows on these blocks and bring your hands to a prayer position and then melt your forehead all the way down. And then bring the thumbs to the nape of the neck. And just take a few breaths here. So really you're melting your heart down and you're hugging the ribs in a little bit. Kind of like in a downward facing dog, but you're on your knees.
And take one last full and deep breath in through the nose. Open your mouth, exhale. Slowly begin to lift your chest. Come on to the elbows. Maybe walk the knees in a little bit closer. Come onto your hands and knees. And from here, we're going to take a well-deserved child's pose, especially if you use the block. The shoulders can be a little tender now. So reach your arms down by your legs so your fingertips are close to your toes. And a little roundness in the spine. So your heels are touching your hips are melting down into your heels, and your forehead is on the mat. And I know this is sometimes not accessible to everybody, and if you can't touch your forehead on the mat, and if your hips are not touching your heels, place a block underneath your forehead and place another block underneath your hips. And now you have that extra support. You invite the earth to rise to meet you. If you need more, you can even play with the height of the block and make the block a little higher. So make the block as high as you need to really get that support. So child's pose is a resting pose. So you really want no effort in the body whatsoever. And you want that roundness in the spine to counter what we just did. And take one last full and deep breath in. And a long breath out. And slowly lift your chest up, coming into a kneeling position. If you need to walk yourself a little bit forward towards the front of the mat, go ahead and do so. And grab your two blocks and align them back like a letter T. So one block at the medium height, one block at the tall height. And you're going to align the medium one vertically with your spine. And we're going to bring the knees together to connect and open up your ankles a little wider than your hips, and maybe even use your hands to remove the flesh of your calves, coming into a hero pose. So if this is intense for you and you're already feeling a deep sensation, you stay right here, and maybe even you grab that block and you place your block underneath your hips and you sit on a block, and you can even sit on two blocks if you want to stack the blocks on top of each other. So knees together, ankles a little wider than your hips, and you're sitting, kneeling, and you really feel that stretch on the quad. For those of you who have more range of motion and you want actually a deeper sensation, what you're going to do is you're going to recline all the way down onto the blocks. And maybe you don't even need blocks, but I like to keep the blocks because I get a back bend as well. And this is so, so good for the spine. And you just flare your arms open and you breathe. So we worked on the spine, we worked on the legs. You've touched every major muscle in your body, but you did it in a very gentle way. Send the breath wherever it needs to go. Scan the body and notice those stuck areas, those stiff, maybe stagnant areas where they need a little bit more energy flow, more breath flow, more blood flow. And direct your breath to that area, because where the mind goes, energy flows. And even that, if you marvel just on that, isn't that truly a miracle? That you can send your breath where you want it to go. This is how powerful you are. Isn't that just incredible? That you own your body does not own you. Your body will do whatever you want it to do. If you just learn how to speak its language, if you learn how to establish that line of communication with yourself, and you're doing it right here, right now, on your yoga mat, you've dedicated this time, you're sitting quietly within, and you're listening to your body, and you're also talking to your body. It's a two-way communication, just like any other regular relationship. You listen and you also speak. Soften the space between your eyebrows, your forehead from temple to temple. Maybe soften the eyes. Allow your eyeballs to be heavy, to sink deep into the bed of your eye sockets. Maybe you part your upper jaw slightly from your lower jaw. You soften your tongue back just a little bit, opening up that hollow space inside of your throat. Notice how much of a difference that makes. Can you even soften the skin across your collarbone? Take one last full breath in And a long breath out. If you're on your back, begin to press onto your elbows and tuck your chin into your chest and slowly lift yourself up. Take your time. If you have those blocks behind you, go ahead and remove them to the side. And slowly, maybe you lean on to one side and you release one leg and you lean to the opposite side and release the leg. If you need to windshield wiper the legs a little bit or shimmy the legs, just get the blood to flow back into the legs. And it's very normal to feel a little tender in your legs. And from here, we're going to come into Shavasana. I like to put these blocks at the medium height right behind my knees for a supported version of Shavasana. And it's nice to separate them a little wide. And then slowly go ahead and lie all the way down onto your back, finding that nice Shavasana. Arms by your side. Close your eyes. Take one last soft and gentle breath in through the nose. And a soft breath out the mouth. You feel this life force energy that you just invoked from within you, activated and optimized. And this energy is a renewable resource that really never runs out. It's yours. It's yours to offer. It's yours to enjoy. It's yours to radiate. And it's yours to indulge. Your energy now is so powerful and so potent, fully optimized. Feel it. Connect with it. And allow your next inhale to be a little fuller. And the exhale a little longer. Wiggling the toes and the fingers. Rolling your head a little side to side. Just relaxing the neck. Maybe you begin to bend your knees and hug your knees into your chest. Rolling on to your left side, which is the yin side of your body, the moon side of the body, honoring the practice that we just did, coming into a fetal position. And then slowly press into your hand and guide yourself up into a comfortable seat. And float your palms together to connect for that gesture of Anjali. Bowing your chin to your chest, looking into your own heart, that sacred beating heart of yours. And can you say to yourself, may you be healthy, may you be happy, may you be at peace. Namaste. Much love, much gratitude to each and every one of you. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. All right, beautiful people. I am going to come here and chat with you.